I'm now going to go on to the next, and this is going back in time, right at the beginning of when I started as the founding director of the Serious Games Institute. And I think you'll be quite impressed by what was developed by a local games company. This is a games company called Blitz Games. They set up a Serious Games on, and they wanted to show how you could use games technologies and 3D scanning to create avatars, lifelike avatars, that can simulate medical conditions, and also be used in training of people like paramedics. So I'm going to play the video now. So this begins with a 3D scan, and they use a 3D scan to create some algorithms that actually manipulate the facial expressions of this avatar. So by using a variety of slider bars, they can create all kinds of emotions, and so you can imagine how these can be used within video games, but they can also be used in all kinds of different simulations. And what I'm going to go on to now is to a simulation that links medical data to show nurses and medical practitioners what the experience of watching someone die from a head wound. So on the left hand side you see the avatar in his normal condition, and on the right hand side you see someone who is going to die in the next 30 seconds. And what you will see is how the medical data is being used to simulate the blood flow. It's going to simulate the pulsing of the veins in the neck as the body tries to cope with a situation. You'll see the avatar changing colour and become pale. You'll see the avatar sweating. You can see the veins pulsing now. And within 30 seconds, you'll see what it's like to watch somebody die from a head wound. He's now reaching the end. And all of this goes back to around 2007 and 2008. So that's one example of a video, but I also want to show you an example of other practical uses of this same technology. And in the top left hand corner of the screen you can see a scene from a product called Triage Trainer, and the idea is that people are unlikely, hopefully, ever to have experienced triaging people who are victims of an explosion in a city centre. So the city centre you see there is based on Leamington Spa, and you'll see the explosions, and they use this to set up a series of avatars who need to be triaged. So this was actually a game as part of a research project to establish whether you could use virtual reality and simulations like these to replace some of the traditional methods of nursing training or paramedic training using typically mannequins. So the idea is that the players in this game go around the city centre triaging 4 or 5 patients, and they're measured on the accuracy of their triaging and the time it takes us to do that. And the results of this research project indicated that these types of simulations are more effective than traditional methods, and the reason is that people find them more realistic, and so they're more engaged in them. This is an example of a virtual hospital ward, going back to those early days, a little bit primitive. And then at the bottom of the screen, this is another project called Patient Rescue, and you'll see 3 avatars at the bottom. The idea is that you could automatically generate an avatar with different ages, ethnicities, backgrounds and medical conditions, and you could use these avatars to simulate medical conditions to train new doctors coming into the profession, because when they first start they won't have dealt with lots of conditions, and you're able to show them things that they may not may even not ever come across in their lifetime. But so this is not new. This is the point that I'm trying to make. It is not new.